Yo everyone, and welcome back to my channel, and Eid Mubarak to those of you that celebrate Eid, and for those of you that don't celebrate Eid, I hope you enjoyed this tutorial regardless. So I decided to kind of film this very over-the-top full glam Eid makeup tutorial to go with this outfit that I've got. I will link the company where I got this from below. And I just wanted to play with some glitter and just be super intense, super fun for Eid. For those of you that don't know what Eid is basically like a Muslim's Christmas, and we get 2 a year because we're lucky. The first one is to mark the end of Ramadan, which is the month of fasting, and then we have Eid at the end, and then we have another Eid, I think what is it, 60 days after the previous one, 40 days or something like that, but it'll be in August anyway. So even if you guys don't get to see this on time, maybe you can do it for next Eid, you do a similar look. I just wanted to keep it quite traditional in terms of colour. When it comes to like the lips, like very red, typical Asian sort of South Asian sort of colours, but now I went super overboard with the glitter on the eyes to go with the silver on my top. So I hope you guys enjoy this video. Like, comment, make sure you subscribe, and I'll see you all in the next one. Bye.
Hello. So I did my eyebrows off camera. Obviously you can see I've just done my usual Anastasia Dipbrow, and first I'm priming my eyes with the Louise base in the shade Rumour. A little bit goes a really long way to create like a nice neutral matte sort of base on your eyes. First thing I'm going to be using as an eyeshadow is the Hyper Real Glow highlighting palette by MAC in Flash and Awe, and in the shade Flash and Awe as well, and I'm applying it to my brow bone because, as you guys know, I love to have like a really highlighted brow bone. Now I'm using Anastasia Beverly Hills Soft Glam palette, and the first shade I'm using is Dusty Rose, and I am going backwards and forwards in the crease with a Morphe 330 brush just to build up a nice kind of warm mauve shade. Then I'm using the shade Rustic, which is like a deeper brown shade, and then I'm using the same brush and going into the crease to kind of create a mixture of between the brown and the mauve so that it would go kind of more with the top that I'm wearing. Then I'm using this burgundy shade called Mulberry, which is a matte shade, and I'm just using a dense blending brush to go into the outer V area, and then I am dragging it inward so that I can create like a kind of a smoky sort of look. So just keep blending that backwards and forwards, and then use the same Morphe brush just to tidy up any harsh lines around the edges. So the first shade I'm using on the lid is the Glitter and Glow liquid eyeshadow by Stila in the shade Smoky Storm. I'm applying this thickly all over my eyes, and then I'm not even going to set it. I'm going to use the new glitters by Beauty Adikt Cosmetics in the shade Pewter, which is like a multi-dimensional colour, and then I am applying it all over the eyes using a NYX Pro Flat Detail brush. And this is what I'm using, the Stila as a base, but then this is basically like intense glitter, and then I'm using that same brush just to blend out any harsh lines. Next I'm using the shade Cypress Umber and a Royal and Langnickel pencil brush on the lower lash line. And then I'm using my Rimmel Kohl Kajal Scandaleyes liner, which I use all the time on my lower lash line. It's black. Then I'm using the Hyper Glow palette in the shade Rosy Glow this time, and I am using a MAC pencil brush to apply it to the inner corners of my eyes just to illuminate that area so it doesn't look bare. Now moving on to the face, and first I'm using the NYX Total Control Drop Primer, and I'm dotting it all over my face and before I blend it all in. This is quite an emollient sort of primer, but I really like it. It keeps my face feeling really kind of hydrated and refreshed. It looks a little bit white when you first put it on, but then once your foundation is on, it's perfectly fine. And talking of foundation, I'm using my HG foundation, my favorite foundation, which is the Jouer Essential High Coverage Cream Foundation in the shade Bronzed, and I am applying it all over my face using a Sigma 3D HD Kabuki brush. This is a really full coverage foundation. 2 pumps is basically covered pretty much most of my face, and then I went in with a tiny little bit more before I blended it all out. This shade is a little bit dark for me, but I have started to tan over the past couple of weeks by accident because, you know, it's summer now, but it will work out in the end. Then I'm using the Colourpop No Filter concealers. They've got different names now, so I will link the correct ones that I'm using below for you guys. So first I'm using it to cover my dark circles as well as illuminate the high points of my face, followed by me using a beauty blender, I forgot what it's called, to blend out all the concealer that you can see, so that it covers everything, making it look flawless. This is a really full coverage look I'm going for today, hence the lots of everything that you're seeing me doing. Now I'm using the Luxury Powder by Makeup Revolution, and I'm applying it underneath my eyes and everywhere you saw me using the concealer, using a Real Techniques contour brush. And then, as always, 5 seconds before I wipe it all off, and this keeps my concealer in place all day. Now I'm using the Peach Perfect Mattifying powder, that is by Too Faced, and I'm applying it all over my face using a Sigma Large Powder F30 brush, followed by the NYC Liquid Liner, which is one of my favorite eyeliners that I use all the time. Remember that when you use glitter, you normally have to go in with 2 or 3 layers to make sure that you cover everything up properly, because glitter can kind of come through, which is why you're seeing me doing it quite slowly, and I do go backwards and forwards a couple of times off camera just to make sure that the color is really intense and really black. And then I am just winging it out as much as possible, because like I said, it's a full-on kind of look we're going on with today. Now for my mascara, I'm using the Total Temptation mascara by Maybelline to heavily coat my eyelashes, because I am going to be wearing massive eyelashes on top. So just make sure you do all of your top lashes, obviously, duh. And I'm using the Huda Beauty Sasha eyelashes, which are one of my favorites. And then I'm applying it in place, as I always do, using my Bourjois lash thingy. And then after I've done that, I am using the Push Up Angel mascara by Maybelline for my lower lashes, which is my favorite lower lash line mascara. Then I'm using the Saddle Bronzer by Anastasia Beverly Hills, and I am contouring my face quite heavily using the Morphe M405 contour brush. Again, as this is a full glam look, I'm applying a lot more of pretty much everything than I normally do. Don't forget, I don't think you guys realize that sometimes with my camera things appear a little bit more vibrant than they are in person. So sometimes if you do think I'm applying too much, I'm not. But in this instance, I'm telling you that I actually am. Anyway, once I've done that, I'm using the Airspun powder by Coty, and I'm using a Morphe contouring brush just to tidy up and sharpen my contour, because obviously I applied quite a lot of product and I need to make sure that it looks nice and tidy as well as set. And then I'm going to be using my Real Techniques contour brush to brush off all of the translucent powder, so that now you can see that I've got very nice sharp lines. But obviously, because I have quite a lot of contour on, it means the sharp lines are a bit too obvious, so use that same brush just to blend out the harsh lines. Now I'm using the Morphe 8C Cool Toned Blush Palette, and I'm using the shade Ego as my blush today. I'm using my e.l.f. Complexion brush, which is my favorite blush brush. I've got so many of these. And like I said, because I've got a contour shade on and then a similar blush shade, but it's shimmery, it looks like I've got quite a lot on. But like I said, I have. Now I'm using the Light of the Party from the Hyperglow palette, and I'm applying it to my cheekbones using a Morphe M401 pointed blender brush. And I'm going in 2-3 times, because obviously this is a very intense in your face kind of Eid party style sort of look. So I'm applying it quite generously to my cheekbone area as well as the high points of my nose, and then followed by my Cupid's bow as well to make your lips look abnormally large, well, larger. And then I'm using the Anastasia Beverly Hills liquid lipstick in the shade Currant, which happens to match my top half perfectly. And that is it for the video. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Like, comment, make sure you subscribe, and Eid Mubarak. Bye.